Welcome to the shadowy world of American crime where loyalty was life, betrayal meant death, and legends were born in blood. You know the names, you've seen the movies, but trust me, you don't know the half of it. We're talking about the real deal, the Mafia. These guys were organized, ruthless, and they ran this country for a long time. Today we're diving into the wildest, weirdest, and most jaw-dropping facts about infamous mobsters. Beyond what Hollywood ever showed you. Wait until Section 6 where you get some wild mobster facts. Alright, let's talk Al Capone. Everybody knows this guy, right? Scarface, the Chicago outfit, brutal killer, ruthless businessman. But did you know this guy ran a soup kitchen during the Depression? I'm not kidding. While he's out there ordering hits and running booze, he's also feeding people. Talk about contradictions, man. And then there's the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Come on, this is like straight out of a movie. Capone's guys, dressed as cops, line up 7 guys from Bugs Moran's crew and just light them up with Tommy guns. The thing is, Capone wasn't even there. He was in Florida, but everybody knew. But here's the kicker. You want to know what finally brought down Al Capone? Not the violence, not the booze, not the gambling. Taxes, the IRS, man. They got him on tax evasion. Talk about irony. Oh, and get this, by the time he died, syphilis had eaten his brain up. He was basically a vegetable. Karma, man, it's a real thing. Now, Lucky Luciano, this guy was different. He wasn't just lucky, he was a freaking visionary. He saw the chaos in the Mafia, all these different families fighting, and he said, we're doing this corporately. He sets up the 5 families of New York, establishes a clear hierarchy, a board of directors for criminals, genius, pure genius. But it gets crazier. World War II breaks out and the US Navy is freaking out about Nazi sabotage on the docks. So what do? They go to the Mafia, Operation Underworld they called it. And Luciano, from his prison cell, he pulls strings, makes sure the docks are protected. The US government made a deal with the devil and it worked. Think about that. The guy who was supposed to be public enemy number 1, helping the US win the war. It's mind-blowing. Bugsy Siegel, this guy was a different breed. He was a gangster, sure, but he was also obsessed with Hollywood. He loved the glamour, the glitz, and he had this vision, see, to turn this dusty little town called Las Vegas into a gambler's paradise. So he uses mob money to build the Flamingo Hotel. But Bugsy, he's not a businessman, he's a dreamer. The budget goes out the window, construction's delayed, there are rumors of skimmed money. The mob, they're not in the business of losing money. So, in 1947, they find Bugsy in his girlfriend's house, reading the newspaper, and someone puts a bullet through his eye. Case closed. Nobody was ever arrested for the hit, but the message was clear. Don't mess with the mob's money. And Las Vegas? Well, it went on to become Sin City. Bugsy's dream, built on blood and concrete. Chapter 4. John Gotti. The Teflon Dons fall from grace. John Gotti, now there was a guy who loved the spotlight, the Dapper Don they called him. Always impeccably dressed, always had a quip for the reporters. He beat a few cases, walked out of court a free man, and the nickname changed to the Teflon Don. Nothing stuck to this guy, but fame, it's a fickle mistress. Gotti, he loved the attention, but it attracted too much heat. And it's his own guy, Sammy the Bull Gravano, his underboss, who brings him down. Turns state's evidence, rats him out. Can you imagine? The guy who helped you run your empire, who you trusted with your life, testifies against you. That's the Mafia for you. Loyalty? It only goes so far. Gotti died in prison in 2002, still rocking the suits, but his days of glamour were long gone. Chapter 5. Frank Costello. The Prime Minister disappears. Frank Costello, this guy was different. He was known as the Prime Minister of the Underworld. He didn't need to use violence. He controlled things with money and influence. Judges, senators, even presidents, they were all in his pocket. But here's the thing about Costello, he was a survivor. In 1957, a rival mobster tries to take him out, shoots him in the head, but the bullet, it just grazes him. Costello, he looks at the guy, clutches his head and says, "Is that the best you got?" And then, get this, he walks away from it all, retires from the Mafia, just like that. Lives out his days peacefully, dies in his 80s. No prison, no dramatic shootout, just fades into the background. That's almost unheard of in the Mafia. Almost. Chapter 6. Mobster Speed Round, Honorable Mentions You Won't Believe. Alright, we gotta wrap this up, but I gotta give you some rapid-fire mobster facts just to blow your mind. Joe Valachi, this guy was the first mobster to break the code of silence, testifies in open court about the Mafia. He's the reason we even know the word Mafia. Paul Castellano, head of the Gambino family, hated violence. Ironically, he gets gunned down outside a steakhouse. Tony Big Tuna Accardo, classic mobster quote, "I'd rather be feared than loved. Love is for suckers." And Vito Genovese, this guy tried to run the entire Mafia from a prison cell in Italy. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. That's the thing about the Mafia, man, it's a dangerous game, and even the guys at the top, they're always one step away from getting whacked. The Mafia wasn't just crime, it was a twisted empire of loyalty, betrayal, and ambition, and the men behind it, as fascinating as they were, dangerous. We're talking about guys who lived by their own code, who were both terrifying and strangely compelling. If you like this dive into mob madness, hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know who's your favorite infamous mobster. Got a weird fact we missed? Drop it in the comments. We're just scratching the surface here. Trust me, there are more stories, more secrets, more madness to uncover.